We're back here again to tell you a Halloween story and eat some weird candy of some sort. Or something else. I've got other things. Halloween related. So we got Peeps Marshmallow Monsters. And I'm holding the camera this time. There's one. If you've ever had Peeps, you know what this is going to taste like. It tastes like a Peep. Marshmallow with sugar. I don't love them, but my Easter basket was always full of them because my mom loved them. I don't think she does anymore, but she used to. So she would buy Peeps like crazy at Easter, so there were Peeps around. I think she lost her taste for them long before they became a year-round type of thing. Anyways, let's talk about haunted houses. I'm going to haunted houses as a young kid. At the ages of 7 to early, I don't know. Every Halloween, one of the Fridays or Saturdays or whatever before Halloween, we used to all hop in the car and, you know, there was no internets, there was no, they didn't even advertise these things in the newspapers. They just put signs up on telephone poles. And there were almost always an orange sign so you could spot it every year. The same company did this haunted house. It was always in San Mateo. It was done by the Candlelighters, if I'm not mistaken. It's a group that helps people feed homeless, stuff like that. All kinds of good things. They still did one in the hub in Fremont, if you know of that haunt. That was there until the early 2000s, until they remodeled the hub in some old historical building there. But apparently they would find houses that I guess were condemned, coming down or something, because they would gut this house and haunt it. Or, you know, decorate it. Stage decorate it, whatever you call it. Or whatever you call it. I call it haunting it. You know, we're going to go haunt that thing. And that just means going and setting up the stage decorations and all that. But anyhow, we'd drive around and find them. And they were interesting haunts. They scared me a lot as a kid. I got startled and scared, and I thought that was so much fun. And as I remember back, each room, I mean, the decorations were like mannequins and stuff. A few actors, but it'd go like in the bathroom was always a bloody bathroom. And each room had a sponsor. Kind of like back, I don't know if they still sponsor Little League teams. They did then when I was a kid. And, you know, the haunt people would go around to the same types of places. The local tailor, the pizza place, whatever. And get them to sponsor a room. And that would mean their name was in the room. And I don't know what they pay. I don't know anything. But they had these sponsors, and that was it. That was my, we found that every year. And it was a walk through kid's house, and then at the end there was a little carnival outside. And that was fun, and I always liked them. And later on, at the YMCA near my house, a new haunt went in, and it was right down the street, so we had to go. My uncle actually took me. He wanted to see it. And it was a different style haunt, something I'd never seen, where you'd walk into rooms and they would do little skits. This is famously known as the hell houses. This was not a hell house, but famously the hell houses that are put on by the strong religious right, where the people are going to hell because she's getting an abortion, and it was a big religious message. This house was not that, but you did walk from room to room and a skit was performed. And I found one or two more haunts like that. As I thought that's the way haunts need to be. It wasn't until I actually did haunts, and I did a haunt like that with some friends in high school. Put it on for the, in high school, we just got a classroom where a friend of ours was a teacher there. She was in high school. She just was a teacher volunteer. She wanted to be a teacher. She became a teacher. And she always wanted to be a teacher, but she became a teacher. We went to their school. It was an underprivileged school. So I think it was a quarter to get in. I forget everything we did. I know there was a room in the classroom. We made walls with sheets, and they get into a room where me and a friend of mine were dressed as ghosts. Basically, we had sheets over ourselves. We did some weird, bumbly slapstick routine to make the kids laugh. They went into a maze where some witchy girl or something would scare them. And finally, they ended up in another room where there was a coffin. And they would sit down in front of the coffin. And what happened was, in the meantime, after they left the ghost room and they were in the other parts being whatever was happening, I forget really, I ran from the ghost room, took off my sheet, and I had a full vampire outfit on. I got in the coffin. I forget what I said, but I know I had candy, a bowl of candy, and I would sit up and greet the children like Dracula and then give them candy. And that was the haunt. And I guess when it was all said and done, we bought the school a few toys and balls for the playground. It wasn't a big money-making success, but we did something good, and we had a blast. And we weren't trying to scare them because they were little kids. This was, preschool or kindergarten or something. It was just for play. So it was a long, and that was pretty much my history with haunted houses. I did learn once I found out about a haunted house, when I got older, I ended up going to this one that was really good. And we went through it and stuff. I liked it. That was one I ended up working at years later. But that's a whole nother story. But I learned doing that whole skit thing, that don't work. If you want to get people through your haunt, you've got to just keep moving them. But that's about it. I fell in love with haunted houses. And next is a little trick-or-treat story coming up sometime. All right, folks. Have a good one. Stay scared.